Hello everybody, it's Outrunner13 and thank you so much for tuning in to the part 2 of the attachment series guide. Today is going to be very similar to what we did go through with the optics. The only difference is today we're going to be going over some grips. As I stated in the previous video, there are a ton of attachments in this game, and a lot of those attachments are these grips right here. But I wanted to go over a couple disclaimers before we start the video, and the first one of those things is that a lot of this is personal preference. I know you guys took it really well. I love the comments in the previous videos. But again, I wanted to reiterate how a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about today is just kind of my personal preference on them, what I'm kind of feeling, and it is all just to give you guys a little bit of insight in what there is to come, whether that be a level 4 grip right here, or if you've missed some statistics on what they are with the level 1 grips. The second disclaimer that I wanted to go over is, especially with the optics, it kind of goes for the same thing, but with grips, the more money that you're going to spend, the better grip that you're going to get. I don't have any cheat codes in this game. I'm not going to say like a level 2 grip is going to be better than a level 4 for whatever reason, and that, you know, this is for the specific reason. I'm not that type of guy to go that deep into statistics, although there are some cool facts in this game that you guys might be missing that I could hopefully bring some insight to. But overall, if you guys are starting on this game and you guys are trying to look for the best grip in the game, obviously that's going to be when you're getting into the level 4, level 3, and level 4 stuff. So don't think that this is like a magical, calculation or something like that. But overall, I just wanted to give you guys some more insight again into the grips and the attachments overall in this game. And I truly hope that you guys like this video. But yeah, if you could put a like on this video, and if you could subscribe to the channel and leave a comment on what your favorite grip is or what you kind of learned in this video, that would be absolutely amazing. I would love you guys forever. But alrighty, let's grab some of our stuff real quick and check it out. Alrighty, now one of the first things that I wanted to go over was the augs right here. As some of you may know, this aug right here is almost the exact same thing as the one above it. They shoot the same exact bullets. I'm pretty sure they have similar statistics on them, but the one thing when we talk about in the attachment world that can make a gun significantly better is what you add on top of it. So as someone who's new to the game might think that, oh, this one has a sight, this one has a grip that comes attached to it, and it's pretty cool. Someone might think that one is better, but in reality, this one could be significantly better than this, or even worse in some cases. Totally due to what you add on top of it. If you had a level 1 grip and like a sniper scope onto it that has no meaning and you go into Metro, you're going to die and you're going to lose this, and this is going to be actually worse than this top one right here. Although if you make the right decision and put a good grip on it, or a decent grip that fits you well, and you put a good attachment, like a good sight that we talked about in our last video. By the way, if you haven't checked out that video, please do. But if you put a good grip that you like and a good sight that you like, and you go into Metro or suburb or wherever you like, this gun is going to treat you a lot better than the sight that you're given with and the grip that you're given on this first aug right here. I guess that's what I think about when I think of attachments in general. And that goes into my second point that I'm going to talk about before we kind of start this video, is the word ergonomics. I know that's a big word for some, and especially me, but it gives us a little more detail that we're going to talk about into each of these grips right here that make them a little bit different than one another. Now I might put it on the screen, but ergonomics is listed on almost every single one of these grips, and ergonomics is basically how the gun feels or how it reacts to the person. What that means is if you grab this level 1 grip right here, I think from Tommy, I don't even know, we're going to go into it in a little bit, but if you grab this level 1 grip right here, and let's say we toss it on this aug right here, this handling is going to feel a little more shaky than if you were to grab this level 4 from Igor right here, this angled grip right here. So at least the word ergonomics for me, you guys can go a little bit more into this into the comment section, but the word ergonomics to me pretty much just means handling, how it feels in your hand, and basically the smoothness. So with all that being said, if you have a question of like, why does my aim kind of suck sometimes, and why is it always feels on or it always feels off, it might be the difference between you using a level 1 grip that you've been using, or maybe bumping it up into like a slanted grip like this that can perform a lot better, and actually in the grand scheme of things make you feel more comfortable with your aiming. So I guess that's why we're going over these grips right here. And yeah, without a further ado, let's get into the first grip. Alrighty, now that we made it up to the market for the first time right here, we're going to go over our first grip, and that grip is named the AFG. It goes for a price of $12,120, or let me rephrase that, coins you could say. I'm going to say dollars in this. I noticed that I said it in the last video. I'm going to say dollars just because it's easier. But it goes for a little over $12,000. It gives you minus 3% on your vertical recoil, which is the up and down recoil, of course, and then the minus 7% on your horizontal recoil. So it's not going to shake around as much. And then, like I said in the intro right here, the ergonomics, it's going to give you plus 10%. So maybe you can relate that to handling or something like that, but the ergonomics, basically how it feels and how you react to it, it's going to give you plus 10% of pretty much the feel aspect. So yeah, let's go check this out in the shooting range. So the initial look on this thing is not too bad. It actually kind of fits this gun a little bit well. But the one thing, again, being a little over $12,000, I don't think this is a bad investment, especially when we look at more like the submachine guns and whatnot. If you're trying to run a budget build and you have this available, or you have just $12,000 that you're willing to spend, then this is definitely your way to go. Now, if I don't use the grip right here and I kind of just move it side by side, around, give or take, I don't really notice any difference too much. Then if I were to slap this on right here and move it, it's not anything crazy. I mean, the ergonomics might help when you're obviously shooting, but it's going to be much more noticeable when we get into the better grips. But overall, this is going to help with your vertical recoil and your horizontal recoil. It's not going to go as much up and down, and your bullets aren't going to be flying all over the place. The one thing that there is to be said about this grip right here that I really do enjoy is the fact that it's not really protruding out as much as I thought it would. When we get into these bigger grips right here that are going to be going like way down or slanted and whatnot, those can kind of bother some people. And this is definitely in the realm of being kind of, what's that word? Low key, as I guess I'm trying to get at. Low key, or I'll think of the word later. But yeah, for this being a level 1 grip, not necessarily my favorite thing. I have used it in the past, obviously. And if you are struggling with your aim and you want to get it better and you haven't been using grips, definitely toss this on your gun. Now that we checked out this first grip from Tommy, let's go on to the first grips from Igor. Alrighty, so now that we're back up into the marketplace, we're going to be looking at the TDS. This one is called the OLV, or Olive, you could say. There's 2 more in this first level right here. The BK, black, obviously, or SD, sand. The black and the sand one are the exact same price at $11,760, and the Olive one being a little bit more above $12,000. So actually, the cheapest grips in this game are going to be the TDS black and the sand one. The only thing, when you're looking at the vertical recoil, the ergonomics, and the horizontal recoil, it's -5 on the vertical, -5 on the horizontal, and +6% on the ergonomics. They are all the exact same. Like if I go over here, it's the exact same thing. The only difference is the color, truly, which is why Olive, obviously, it's going to blend in with more in the trees and whatnot in this game. And that's, I guess, why they're going to add the price, or really going to make the price a little bit more. But for kind of a more grippy feel and something that you could find a little bit easier than the first sight that we looked at from Tommy, I think this definitely could be your way to go, especially when you're trying to get into grips. But yeah, let's go down the shooting range and check these out. Alrighty, I got them laid out right here in the shooting range. And again, the difference between them is literally just the color. I'm not going to tell you which one to get. I'm not going to say that the Olive one is definitely the way to go, because honestly, if your hand's over it, you're not going to be able to see literally anything. Now, as we place this on the gun, the one thing that I do like is they're going to be easy to kind of find. When compared to that low-key kind of grip that Tommy had, these look like they're a little bit easier to find, and they're definitely kind of your more average grip that you find in like your Call of Duties and whatnot. So I'm definitely liking the look of these things, and they're a little bit less expensive than Tommy's grip that he had. I think the ergonomics only adding 6% is not as cool to me. I definitely think with this more classic style of a foregrip is one of the reasons why you're not going to get that ergonomics jump that you had with Tommy's sight, or Tommy's grip. Jeez. So I don't really love that too much. But I definitely don't hate the feel of this. And honestly, if you're on sort of like a budget sort of thing, then you could definitely pick this grip right here. This being under $12,000, I think is an absolute steal. But yeah, anybody who's level 1, I won't go too much into these any more than I already have, but anybody who's level 1 will be able to have these grips right here. And it's purely your personal choice or your personal preference on which grip you're going to pick up. But like I said, if you grab this thing on the side of your gun, nobody's going to be able to see it anyways. But yeah, now that we got these first couple out of the way, let's move into the level 2. Alrighty, so now that we're into level 2 of things right here at Tommy, we're going to be going into the PVGs. Now, if you were wondering what the difference between the PVGs right here, it's the exact same grips, or the idea of the grips that we just went over with Igor. And that's the only difference, is the color. We got olive, sand, and black. The price difference, I'll just show you guys all real quick, is the exact same thing. -9 on the vertical recoil, -15 on the horizontal, and +14 on the ergonomics. See right here with the sand, it's the exact same thing, and then the same exact thing again with the black. Now, the one thing that everybody notices, especially me right here, is the price. With almost 4 times as much when compared to the first grip right here, with this AFG only being $12,000 compared to these, which are all around $43,000. This vertical, horizontal, and ergonomics better be worth it, you know what I'm saying? But let's go check the feel of these things out down in the shooting range real quick. Alrighty, now that we're down in the shooting range, like I said for like the 5th time, these are the exact same grips, just different colors. And honestly, I'm pretty sure they're about the same. They might be a little bit longer than the grips that we just went over from Igor. But again, when you go to grip the grip, the foregrip that is, your hand's going to be basically covering the whole entire thing. So the color doesn't even really matter. But honestly, the look of them is pretty chic, and I really do like these. The only thing is, with these being priced around $43,000, if you're a person who dies a lot, especially when they feel like they go in kitted, I don't think that you should be spending this much money on a grip. As far as the ergonomics goes and the horizontal and vertical recoil go, I would give these a good 6 out of 10. I think they're good kind of all around. I don't think they're going to change your game too drastically. Although, let's do a little spray real quick. Honestly, I'm kind of a crap shot, so I don't even know how good that was. But honestly, for the price, I would say for me personally, this just brings it down to like a 5 out of 10. If I'm going to be spending a lot of money on grips, especially, I'm either going to go big or I'm going to go home. But if you do have some money to spend and you only have Tommy at level 2 and you don't have them any higher level, I think this is the grip for you, especially if you're willing to spend the money. I don't think that if you got like over $1 million in the bank or you have these set aside, that you shouldn't be using them just because they're almost 4 times as much as the AFG. But overall, I think the thing that kind of just kills these right here is just the price being a little bit overpriced for me, but that's also because I have everything unlocked. But yeah, overall, I think that this is not a bad grip to use, but I'd be spending more money on my sight or my silencer or honestly my gun. But yeah, let's move on to the level 2 of Igor. Alrighty, now that we're at level 2 for Igor right here, we're going to be looking at the Mambas. I'm honestly loving the name. And again, the only difference between these 3 sights right here, the black, the olive, and the sand. And why am I just now noticing this? Wouldn't this thing be... Oh. Am I tripping? No, I'm not tripping at all. These things are switched for me. This thing should be olive and this thing should be sand right here. When you click onto it, it goes into the sand, so I guess you're going to be knowing what you're buying. And I think these Mambas right here, honestly, and along with the Storm Gruff that I'm going to go into in just a second, are the perfect level 2 grips that you're going to have. They definitely have more of that AFG vibe that we first went over with Tommy for level 1, and I think they're perfectly priced at a little over $32,000. But before we get into too much of these right here, the vertical recoil is -7%, the horizontal recoil is -12%, and the ergonomics is +13. The one thing that I always struggle with, especially with my grips, is the horizontal recoil. I find my sights moving side to side, so I actually love that this has a little bit of a horizontal recoil bias, and I honestly love the feel of these things. So let's go down into the shooting range and check them out. Alrighty, now that we're down here, please don't judge me. I didn't buy the third one. I didn't buy the black one. I'm honestly overspending this much amount of money for some grips. But they are necessary though, don't think that they aren't. But let's look at the 2 ones that have the mixed names, I guess. To the eye, they honestly look very similar to the AFG, but they add a whole new sense of how you're gonna grip your gun. These things right here, you kind of grip it and it's, I don't even know, oh, I can show you like this. You kind of grip it like underneath somewhat, and I honestly love the feeling of this, or honestly just like the look of this. It feels like your thumb's kind of over top of the gun. And for some reason, I feel like you're kind of grabbing it over the top and you're like controlling it in a different way, and I honestly love that feeling. Let's give it a little spray then. That again is not controlling too much, but I mean when compared to no grip, it's definitely something. But when we go into these Mamba grips right here, I think when you compare it to the other level 2 grips that are over at Tommy, I think that these definitely get the upper hand, just purely due to the price that they have. I think that these are a purely level 2 grip. So I would probably, in the level 2 world, I would probably give these like an 8 out of 10, but honestly, personally, since I have everything unlocked, like I said, I'm probably gonna give these 6, 7 out of 10, give or take. But I do really love the ergonomics. I love the vertical recoil, and again, I love that they have a horizontal recoil bias, that the horizontal recoil is going to be taken down more than your vertical recoil. Because honestly, I know how to pull down, but when it goes to the side-to-side stuff, I'm honestly all over the place, and it's kind of just a guessing game with that, and these definitely help out. But yeah, let's go into the Storm Gruff. That's a level 2 for Igor as well. Now that we're back up here real quick, we're looking at the Mambas right here that are the 2 different names. That's kind of funny, honestly. But the Storm Gruff is going to be $3,000 cheaper, a little less than $3,000 cheaper. And again, with that price is going to come a little less of those statistics that you're going to find. In this Storm Gruff, if you have trouble or you're running more of SMGs and whatnot that are going to kind of fly up and down on you, this Storm Gruff is your way to go. This thing comes in at a little under $30,000 at $29,799, and it has a little bit of a vertical recoil bias with 11% taken off of that, and then your horizontal recoil taken off only 7%. And the ergonomics is quite a little bit different. The ergonomics is +13 with the Mambas, but this is only +9. Alrighty, so now that we're back down in the shooting range, I think that the Storm Gruff does a very good job again at being a very good level 2 grip. This is the cheapest level 2 grip that you're gonna find, and it has that vertical recoil bias. The best way that I could describe this grip would be something that could go on a submachine gun, because those are going to be your kind of guns that are going to be flying away from you when you're aiming down sights. Are going to be definitely going up a lot more when compared to like an assault rifle like this. So I honestly think that it's a really, really good level 2 grip that you're going to find. And honestly, one of the things that I kind of like about it, I don't know if I love it so far, but it is a little bit longer, looks a little bit funky when you put it on these guns. So I guess it looks a little bit out of place. Although again, when we're looking at the ergonomics and we're looking at the statistics of this grip right here, I'd give this like a 7, 8 out of 10. Like you're going to be putting this on a submachine gun as compared to like an assault rifle. If you're doing that, then you're definitely going to get the bang for your buck. So honestly, if you were looking for a grip, if you had level 2 Igor and you were looking for a grip to put on your gun and you didn't want to spend a lot of money, then I would 1000% go for this Storm Grip right here, especially when you have a submachine gun, like I said for about the 80th time. But yeah, there's not too much to say other than I'd definitely give the Storm Grip a thumbs up, 100%. But yeah, let's go on to the level 3 grips. Alrighty, for the next grip that's going to be on our list is going to be this Tango Down right here. It comes in with a price of $47,167, which is the cheapest level 3 grip for Tommy. I think this is a perfect grip to go into after the Storm Grip that we just went over there at Igor, because this thing actually performs almost identical to the Storm Grip, obviously a little better on the vertical, horizontal, and ergonomics, and obviously a little bit more expensive. But I think this is a perfect level 3 grip if you're looking for that submachine gun and trying to take down that vertical recoil. But let's go check it out super quick. Like I said, it's very similar to the Storm Grip, so let's go check it out in the shooting range. Alrighty, the one thing that I wanted to highlight was the similarities between the two. Honestly, for the longest time, I thought these were like the same exact grip, I'm not gonna lie. But after looking at these two grips and the ergonomics and this kind of statistics behind them, you can kind of see that explanation come to life of the more you're gonna spend, the better you're gonna get, as these are like almost the same exact grips, or at least have the same look. But this Tango Down is gonna perform a lot better than that Storm Grip right here. And again, I think that this is the perfect grip when you're looking for a submachine gun and just trying to pull down that vertical recoil. This is gonna be your cheapest Tommy level 3 grip, and I honestly think that it looks even cooler than the Storm Grip. Has like kind of those ribbed actions. I really like it. It's not anything crazy, but again, if you have level 3, if you have $47,000 to spend, which I think might be a little crazy for some, but it only goes up from here. But if you got that in your bankroll, definitely use this on a submachine gun. And another little disclaimer, all of these grips that I'm going to be going through are just my personal opinions on them. I just want to show you guys every single grip that I've at least encountered. So when you get level 3 Tommy, you know what grip to kind of buy or what grip that you'd like to purchase in the future. And I just want to give everybody kind of a full idea here. So don't think that I'm telling you to buy something or I'm telling you not to buy something. I'm just kind of giving my thoughts on these grips right here and hoping that they'll help you out in the future. But let's go back up to the marketplace. So now that we're back up in the marketplace, this is kind of a weird grip that I've seen around. It's super stubby and I don't really like the look of it, but I think it actually performs pretty well. These are called the GF Mod 3s. Again, like literally every other grip, we're going to go into the stars after. But like every other grip, there's a black, there's an olive right here, and then you got your other color. But these are all priced around $50,000. As you see right here, $50,500, $51,400, give or take. But I actually like the performance, the statistics behind these right here. The vertical recoil, as you guys can assume, is not as good as the Tango Down with only 10%, but the horizontal recoil is insane right here at minus 17%, and the ergonomics is actually really, really good. For this to only be $2,000 more than the Tango Down, I think when you're looking at overall control of like an AR, you're looking for those kind of like mid to long range kind of fights, or you're using like an ACOG or like a scepter sight or something like that that's long distance and you really need to control those, I think this is the perfect grip for you at level 3. But let's go look at this thing down in the shooting range. Now I only brought one of the GF mods with me, but I wanted to show you guys the size difference in these two grips right here. This grip right here is extremely stubby, and I guess that's kind of a good mental note to put in your head. Those longer grips are going to be better at vertical recoil, and those kind of shorter, wider grips are going to be there for your horizontal recoil, your side to side stuff. But yeah, there's difference in pricing only for the difference in the color that you have. So it's again your personal preference, and then you cover this thing up almost fully. Ooh, actually you kind of hold it a little bit different. So this thing actually does show a little bit, but again, personal preference for the colors right there. This is like the sand or something, I don't even know. And it's super stubby, and I actually like how you hold it. But for around $50,000, I think this thing gives really good statistics, and I would put it really higher in my kind of tier list, if you will. But I've been looking a lot through my holographic site throughout this whole video, and this would be more of like your Levo site that I have right here on the bottom, as this is going to help with a lot of like the horizontal recoil, like I just said, and just overall ergonomics and controlling your sight. I think it actually performs quite well. I mean, yeah, I was able to keep a somewhat close kind of hole right there. This thing works quite nice. But yeah, honestly, because of the looks, I've been kind of pushed away from this, and this is kind of why I'm making the video. Because the last thing that I want you guys to do is kind of see this short and stubby grip on someone's gun, and then next thing you know, you're just passing up a $50,000 grip that you could have been using, or that could have benefited you really well. And then back to kind of like the difference in sizes, I don't want you picking this Tango Down because it's a lot larger, when in reality it might be better for like the submachine guns if you're just using an AR. But overall, these GF mods, if you haven't tried them, I'm gonna start trying them. So yeah, please join me in this process, because I think this is actually $50,000. I don't think it's too crazy, especially when you're going towards those level 3 grips that we have. All of the attachments and guns and whatnot are going to be pretty expensive, so if you're willing to spend a lot on a kit, this could be something that you could really add. But yeah, let's go up for the last level 3 grips in Tommy. See you guys up there. Alrighty, now that we're back up in the marketplace, this is the last level 3 grips for Tommy that we have right here. These grips are called the Stars, and they're kind of more of your slanted grips, and I think I really love the look on these things right here. There's actually 4 of them right here, the black, the gray, the sand, and the olive. And I thought there was a little differences at first because this black right here, at least on this kind of tablet looking thing right here, this thing looks kind of bigger than the gray. But if we're looking at the statistics, minus 13 on vertical recoil, minus 20 on the horizontal recoil, and then plus 17 on the ergonomics, it's not any different than the gray that's right next to it. So again, like the 50th time we said, the only difference is just the color. And unlike the difference between the Tango Down and the GF mod of it being vertical recoil to horizontal recoil, this is kind of the same, you're in the same boat with these of you're going to use them with more of your ARs and your more Scepters and whatnot, those sights that you're kind of doing long range, mid-range kind of shots. But before I get too in depth, I really do like the statistics, and let's go check it out in the shooting range. Alrighty, so now that we're done in the shooting range, the one thing that I did say when I was up there that I truly want to kind of reiterate is the fact that these things look so cool. It adds a super cool kind of slanted look to your gun, and I think that that's like super dope for some reason. That again is just a personal preference, but I really like it. As you can see, the difference in colors, they don't do any different in the statistics world, but again, this is more of like your AR kind of sight. But you hold this thing kind of similar to the GF mods, and again, I think this is more of like your Levo sight when compared to like the holographics. You're going to be aiming more long distance with these grips right here, at least they're going to be most beneficial when you're in that range. So definitely run this on more like your suburban dam when compared to metro. And then the only thing that I don't like about these sights is kind of the price, as they're all around $62,000. I don't know if I'd spend $10,000 more from the GF mods to these right here, especially because I use the virtual gun stock in this game. As you guys might have noticed, you probably would have noticed most of your differences in these gun stocks, or these grips I should say, sorry, when you're using a physical gun stock. Although I don't use a physical gun stock because I want to let you guys know that you guys can still have good aim without having a physical gun stock. And I honestly don't notice too much of a difference in these grips right here for spending $10,000 more than the GF mods. The coolest thing and the reason why I buy these honestly is for the look. But yeah, that kind of sums up the level 3 for Tommy, and let's go into level 3 for Igor. I'll see you guys up there. Alrighty, so now that we're back up here, we're going to go over both of the grips that Igor has for level 3. We're initially going to start off with these transfers right here. This is the black, this is the olive, and this is the red. The only difference, the black and the olive are the exact same, priced at around $36,000, $37,000. And then the transfer red is about $5,000 more, and the only difference between them is the vertical recoil is at minus 10, minus 11, and then plus 12 for the ergonomics. And this right here is minus 13, minus 11, and plus 12. So the only difference is that the red has minus 3% more for your vertical recoil, so it helps a little bit out with your vertical recoil. And honestly, the red, I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty dope. But for $42,000, and honestly, the look of them, I think they're actually pretty sweet. I don't think you can really go wrong with this right here. But I do think that if you're gonna invest and go for the black or the olive right here, you might as well go for the red for $5,000 more. And then lastly, while we're here, we're gonna go over this level 3 right here for the PK1. This thing is absolutely insane. I absolutely love this for those people that love those submachine guns and those people that just can't keep that vertical recoil down. Because as you guys may know, the vertical recoil is minus 22%, which is absolutely insane. And then the horizontal is minus 5% and the ergonomics is plus 3%. So if you were wondering what is the grip that helps out the most with vertical recoil, I just find my guns just flying up on me. The PK1 is 100% your grip. But let's go down real quick to check out these transfers right here and the PK1s. Alrighty, so now that we're down here, let's look at the transfers real quick. Like I said, the only really difference between the olive and the black is just the color. But this is the first one that we had right here, and it's actually kind of cool because it's red. That there is a price jump of $5,000, and it's just for some vertical recoil, 3% that is. So honestly, for an all-around grip, I don't think that the red is the wrong way to go. Although I do think that if you're, the only really thing that I would have to say on these is that if you are thinking about going towards the transfers right here or going to the black or olive, you might as well spend $5,000 more and go to the red. And as we've talked about a billion times right here, when you have your hand on the grip right here, no one's going to even see that. Like, it's not going to pop out. It's really just personal preference yet again. I see a lot of people running these transfers right here, and I honestly think that's a good thing because I think a lot of people have noticed that they're actually pretty good, or honestly that they just look pretty cool. And half the time with aiming is just how you feel. A grip is not going to change your whole game that you have right here. I mean, it's definitely going to help, especially with these helping out around, you know, kind of all around those statistics. But it's not going to change whether you're going to win all of your gunfights or none of your gunfights. But I really do like these transfers right here. If you haven't tried them out, please do that. And then kind of just a little tip for you guys is the red is only $5,000 more. It's the only one that kind of, when it changes color, it adds a little bit more price, and for a specific reason, it adding again that 3% more vertical recoil. So for the last time, if you guys are going to go for the transfers, might as well go for the reds. But all right, let me set that down right here and go to this PK1. This thing is priced at around $47,000, which I think is very similar to the Tango Down, and I think that this is probably one of your best grips that you're ever going to get in this game, in the realm of some machine guns, that is. We've been talking this whole time with the Storm Grip, with the Tango Down, and now to this PK1, about how they help so much with the vertical recoil, or more of control, I should say. And I think that those that want to go that route of like these kind of taller and skinnier, like we did say, these are more short and stubby, and they help out with the horizontal recoil and whatnot. But with the more vertical recoil ones, with the more longer ones, I think the whole thing that we've been getting at is that they help out so much in that vertical recoil control, and that's something that a lot of people need. Me personally, like I said before, I use the virtual grip, so I don't need a ton of help in that aspect of that up and down. Although if you are one of those people, this is 100% your grip to go. $47,000 for level 3. As we saw with those slanted grips, it can be a lot more pricey. So I definitely think for $47,000, if you're one of those people that struggles out with your vertical aim, this is, again, 100% the sight for you. Grip. Jeez, I keep saying sight. Holy crap. The one thing that I did notice about when I just shot that little kind of burst right there was it was going all over from left to right. So this is like literally a purely short-ranged grip right here. If you're going to try to use this thing for like longer distances and whatnot, definitely don't think that you're going to do that. But if you're trying to run Metro and you have some extra money to spend and you really struggle on keeping that kind of down, or you're kind of going over people's head when you're shooting, this is 100% the grip. Because this thing is going to go left to right on you like crazy. I think the ergonomics is only plus 3%. But all right, let's go on to our last, I think, 1 or 2 grips. I'll see you guys up in the marketplace. Alrighty, everybody. Now we're on the final grips for this video. As some of you may know, Tommy does not have any grips in level 4, so we've already finished with him over there. But Igor right here has 2 more grips that are level 4, and one of them's kind of funny because it is the Transfer Sand, which again has the exact same vertical, horizontal, and ergonomics as the olive and the black ones. So I honestly think this might be a bug in the game that it's showing up level 4 for all of us. But you're literally not missing anything with having this sand right here. I mean, I don't think it literally does anything. If it is, somebody let me know in the comments. So we're going to kind of pass over this transfer sand right there, and we're going to go on to this last one right here, the PK1B 25U. And this thing is an absolute beast. Minus 15% on the vertical recoil, minus 22% on the horizontal recoil, which is, I think, just so meaningful in the game, and then plus 13 in ergonomics. This thing is, I think, your only legendary grip that you're going to have in the game, and I just can't wait to get down to the shooting range to show you guys it. But let's go down. Alrighty, to some people this might look like your average grip right here, but the only thing that's different is if you guys can see it really close, it has that 45-degree angle to it. And that means when you put it on these guns right here, boom, it's at an angle. And I think it is the only grip that goes to the side. Unless for some reason you put a 45-degree angle, you know, kind of adapter onto it or something like that, and you try to do it with another grip, you could, but this is the only grip that kind of leans out to the side. And I might just be biased because it's the most expensive, and honestly, I think it looks the coolest because it's leaning out to the side. Or maybe I've used it in previous games before, but this grip right here feels absolutely insane. I think this has the most control. I think that it's kind of keeping your arm out of it, and it allows you to kind of separate your 2 arms when you're aiming, and the statistics on this thing is just absolutely nuts. This again helps out one of the most in the game for your horizontal recoil, so this thing is going to help so much when you get longer distances, like I just said with the Levo, or like I said earlier, I should say. The only thing to add about this grip is I think it's the most expensive in the game. I mean, it should be the most expensive at $70,000 even. I think that's absolutely insane, and I don't know if a lot of people have that kind of bankroll coming through, but I mean, when we're honestly comparing it to like silencers right here, I think this silencer is way more, or at least like $20,000 more than this right here. But $70,000 is a pretty penny. It's not anything crazy when compared to those slanting grips at level 3 for Igor, so honestly, I'm not crying about it too much if I lose it, but I honestly think this is the best grip by far. When we talk about ergonomics and kind of how it feels for the person, you want to go through and say, how does a grip feel for me? And this thing feels absolutely insane. For some, it might be a little weird. It might be kind of hard to grip onto and just kind of, you're not used to it. So, I mean, if you don't really like this grip right here, it's not a necessity. Although I think that if you have it and you have enough money to use it, you definitely got to try it out. I have a bunch of gameplay with this. Whenever I go fully kitted, this is the actual grip that I'm using every single time. Honestly, this is probably the gun that I'm using too, and the sights. I might change the front sight up a little bit, but the silencer's the exact same, the gun's the exact same, the grip is the exact same, because this thing is what feels just so, it feels like butter to me, honestly. Yeah. Yep, controlling it. I mean, as you guys can see, I don't know if you guys saw that spread right there, but I mean, it is just so much more controlled than any other grip. And I don't know if that's because I've just had so much practice with it or just because, I mean, it's just that good. I think it's a little mixture of both. Another thing that I want to say for you guys, a little tip is kind of once you kind of figure out a grip that you have been using, and that goes same for sights and silencers and whatnot, once you feel comfortable with using a specific grip, keep using that thing. You don't want to go around and switch and spend a bunch of money on these different grips right here just because I'm doing it. Like, I found this grip work absolutely amazing for me, and it is because it's the best grip in the game, statistic wise, that is. The last thing you want to do is, if you find the PK1 is treating you super well, the last thing you want to do is switch over to this and spend $70,000 more just because you saw it on a YouTube video. But overall, I think personally, you can add in the comments if you think this is the best grip or what is your kind of favorite grip, but I think this is the best grip by far. But all right, I'll see you guys back in the hideout. We'll go over our little kind of final thoughts and our conclusion. Alrighty, everybody, we're back in the hideout right here, looking at all the grips that we went through today. I truly hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was super insightful for you guys, or at least gave you guys a little bit of a kind of where to go abouts in the different levels. I know it took me a super long time to get level 4 for Igor, so I finally unlocked the grips, and I know a lot of people aren't at level 4, I mean, like me, so the last thing I wanted you to do is kind of jump in here and buy something that you don't even know what it is. So I just wanted to give you guys some insight, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed the video. And you guys can add in the comments, but the only thing that I do wish, or that I hope for in the future, is that Tommy comes out with a level 4 grip, because I think that this angle grip right here was a super cool addition to the game, and I'm super excited, or I would be super excited to see Tommy come out with a cool new kind of grip, or maybe, I mean, he has some cool sights, but a super cool grip would be awesome. But also, if you guys haven't liked this video, please do so. It helps me out way more than you think it does. And please leave a subscription if you guys haven't so far, and then just a comment on what your favorite grip is. I know I missed a couple things in the previous video talking about the optics, so if I missed anything, whether that be a grip or a specific thing about that grip that you wish to tell me, please let me know in the comments. I love responding to comments, and I always make sure to respond to almost everyone or every single comment that I get. And also, while you guys have a chance, if you guys could leave in the comment section about what you guys want me to see next, whether that be about a flashlight right here, or some lasers, or some muzzle brakes and silencers, or really what there is, or ammo. I mean, I'm down to go over whatever. But the one thing that I want to do is to bring you guys something that you all want to see. As you guys know, there's a bunch of attachments in this game, so I mean, I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. We've only gone through a handful of what there is. And yeah, please leave a comment, please leave a like, please subscribe to the channel. I absolutely love you guys. You guys are literally the best. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys later. Peace.